What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Starting off in local politics, the opposition KMT's presidential candidate Ho Yo-yi is laying out more of his platform. John Van Trieste brings us the latest.
Kuomintang presidential hopeful Ho Yo-yi takes a break from the campaign trail for a TV interview on Monday. And he made it clear that China is on his mind. China, which claims Taiwan as part of its territory, has stepped up military incursions around Taiwan's airspace and waters. Ho blamed the ruling Democratic Progressive Party for the recent tensions and said he'd reverse its recent decision to extend military conscription to a year.
把两岸搞得兵凶战危，不得不才延长兵役1年嘛。我当选总统，就努力确定两岸稳定和平。努力确定两岸稳定和平以后，我就恢复4个月。
Ho also took aim at the National Communications Commission, the body in charge of regulating TV in Taiwan. His party has been critical of the NCC since it refused to renew the broadcast license of CTI News in 2020. The station says this was a political decision. Ho argued for scrapping the commission altogether.
NCC 这几年啊，一下子又把人家关台，一下子又开台，撤掉、打掉、重练。
As the countdown to the election nears the 6-month mark, issues like these are becoming new battle lines. John Su and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's military is conducting air defense drills on the country's southeast coast. These exercises are part of the annual Sengong, or Divine Bow drills, which focus on taking out targets in the air. Taiwan uses a combination of U.S.-made weapons like the Stinger to practice defending against an attack. These exercises are part of a series of coastal defense drills that end on Wednesday. Meanwhile, several U.S. lawmakers say they want Taiwan to take part in joint military exercises next year. They've asked the U.S. Navy to invite Taiwan to the Rim of the Pacific exercise, known as RIMPAC. It's the world's largest ocean warfare exercises, and it's been held for almost half a century. Militaries from 26 countries took part in last year's drills. Taiwan's deputy foreign minister sat down with international reporters on Tuesday to talk about the challenges that Taiwan faces, in particular from China. Louise Watt brings us this report from the foreign ministry.
Deputy Foreign Minister Roy Lee has just finished taking questions from the international media stationed here in Taipei. He made a point before he started to say, look how many foreign delegations Taiwan now gets each week, 2 to 3. Politicians and think tank delegations from countries like the Czech Republic and France. And he was asked, what is Taiwan's goal with all these visits? And he said, partly it's to combat disinformation. There's this image going around that Taiwan is one of the most dangerous places on earth. He says by inviting people here to see Taiwan for itself, how its democracy functions, how it is dealing with intimidation from China, he hopes people can see Taiwan is still a good place to do business with. He was also asked, is Taiwan concerned at all of the recent increasing exchanges between Washington and Beijing? That was a reference to the US Secretary of State Blinken's visit to Beijing. And Deputy Foreign Minister Lee answered by citing a Chinese phrase. He said, it's good to talk to your friends, but it's even better to talk to your enemies. And he said Taipei sees it as simply a positive development that Washington and Beijing is communicating more so as to avoid any mishaps in the future. And finally, he was also asked about Ukraine. What is the actual contact between Taipei and Kyiv? Now, he was a little more coy on this question, and he said Taiwan is very much at pains to keep a low profile when it offers rebuilding and other assistance to Ukraine. Now, he didn't say why, but that's obviously to do with not putting Ukraine in a difficult position when it comes to China. So it's a whole load of varied questions here at the Foreign Ministry. Klein Wong and Louise Watt in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
In international news, the struggle over semiconductors just got more intense. China is curbing exports of key metals needed for chips. Starting in August, Beijing will control outbound sales of products made from gallium and germanium. These are metals that are often used in computer chips and radar technology. And China dominates their production. In 2021, it produced nearly 70% of the world's germanium and 98% of its gallium. Beijing says the export controls will protect national security. The rules come as the U.S. and its allies restrict exports of chip-making equipment to China. Washington is reportedly also considering more export restrictions on AI chips. Hong Kong police have issued arrest warrants and bounties for 8 activists and lawmakers who are living in exile. The warrants say these people violated Hong Kong's national security law and colluded with foreign forces. The maximum penalty for these charges is life in prison. The government is offering an award of $128,000 each for information that could lead to their arrest. The 8 are currently in exile in the U.S., Australia, and the U.K. 9 people are dead and more than 100 are wounded after Israeli forces raided a Palestinian refugee camp. The Jenin camp is located in the northern West Bank, a Palestinian territory. It's home to 18,000 refugees. Palestinians fled the camp as Israel's military launched air attacks and deployed ground forces. Officials claim the raid was in response to shooting attacks from Palestinian militants targeting Israelis. It's the largest attack from the Israel Defense Force on Jenin in 20 years. Violence is on the rise in the West Bank as Israel's right-wing government pushes to increase settlements there. The new Barbie movie is opening worldwide this month, but it won't hit the big screen in Vietnam. The country has banned the Hollywood film because it shows a map featuring the contentious 9-dash line. That dotted line is normally used in Chinese maps to illustrate its claims in the South China Sea. These claims are controversial because several countries, including Vietnam, consider some of this area to be their territory. Vietnam has banned several movies in the past for the same reason. Back in Taiwan, award-winning singer and actor Aaron Yen has been questioned on suspicion that he sexually exploited a minor. That's after his ex-boyfriend accused him of leaking intimate videos. Joyce Tseng has the latest.
He's best known in Taiwan as a Golden Bell Award-winning variety show host and a fourth of the former boy band Fahrenheit. But now, actor and singer Aaron Yan is in the spotlight for allegedly sexually exploiting a former boyfriend, who was a minor at the time. Yan's been released on a $16,000 bail and has been banned from leaving the country. Walking out of a Taipei City police station after questioning, he only had a few words to say to the swarm of press. In late June, Yan's former boyfriend and TikTok star Raku said Yan filmed and leaked intimate videos of him without his consent, something that happened when Raku was just 16. At that press conference, Yan made an unexpected appearance, bowing to Raku in apology while denying all claims to reporters. Yan's case is just one of many high-profile sexual harassment accusations that have come to light in Taiwan, riddling not just entertainment but also public offices and the education sector. And all eyes are on investigators to see how such cases will be handled.
我们针对那个被害人他所供称的一些加害人的一些犯罪事证，我们来进行后续的了解。那至于说那个罪名的部分这个我们请示检察官之后，我们才能够确认来做后续的移送。
Police have seized Yan's laptop among other devices during a search of his home. The actor has said he will fully cooperate with investigations to prove his innocence. Kama Xu and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
No love on campus. That's what students at a school in central Taiwan are calling new rules against showing affection. But the school says it just wants students to learn how to respect each other's boundaries. Sally Jensen reports.
Closing the gates on young love. Students at this private school in central Taichung City are complaining they're now forbidden from holding hands or even hugging on school grounds. They say the school told them it's against school rules and even the law. The students brought their concerns about the so-called ban on love to a local youth association.
明显是曲解法规的规定，竟然在学期末的时候，主任要透过公共的广播要求说，学生你应该要来办公室跟我直球对决。
This comes at a sensitive time in Taiwan, which has been rocked in recent weeks by a wave of sexual harassment cases. It's become known as Taiwan's Me Too movement, named after a global survivor-led movement against sexual violence. But still, some say this school's new rules are a step too far. Officials are looking into it.
会再一次的函发给学校的主管机关，台中市政府教育局督导学校。那并且呢，请主管机关确实查处学校处置的一个适法性。
While some say this school is violating the Education Ministry's rules on student punishment, others gave mixed responses.
学生会做的还是会去做，你变成你限制成这样，只会造成学生更反弹嘛。
其实是可以用引导的方式，可能胜过于直接禁止会更好。
The school has pushed back on the criticisms. It says no such rules are in place and that it's merely advising students to be mindful of how they interact with each other.
学校目前没有这种校规，如果比较常属于常态性的接触，或者是比较逾矩的话，就是会有家长这边来做理解。
While officials continue investigating this case, some teenage students here worry that love may not be in the air for some time. James Lin and Sally Ensign for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is tightening rules on some commonly abused types of medicine. Barbiturates and benzodiazepines are being classified as Schedule 4 controlled substances. That makes them harder to get and will force distributors to keep records about their sales. That's after these drugs were allegedly used to drug children at a new Taipei preschool, and they're tightly controlled in many countries. Nearly 10,000 manufacturing workers in Taiwan have been put on furlough as export orders continue to drop. That's the highest number of workers on unpaid leave in almost 3 years. The Labor Ministry reported that over 1,000 workers from 20 businesses were furloughed in late June. The ministry says that along with declining orders, high inflation and interest rate hikes by central banks have also hit manufacturers hard. The house of the future could be made not from glass or carbon fiber, but from fungus. At least that's what one British firm's hoping. And as Jeremy Olivier reports, the biodegradable bricks could be a blessing for the environment.
What you're looking at is a form of living, breathing architecture. These lab-made building blocks are grown using the fungus mycelium. Its growth is directed to shape into molds, forming biodegradable bricks, which have been dubbed the future of construction. Unlike carbon-heavy materials like steel and concrete, fungi bricks have minimal impact to the environment. These models are being displayed at a design show in London. The bricks can be slotted together using wooden dowels to form different objects, almost like Lego blocks. They can then be taken apart and reused for new structures.
We built all sorts of things with it. We fix them together with dowels. One goes in, the other one clicks onto it. They're stuck for life. Or not.
The designers say future houses should be built to be deconstructed because most buildings are renovated or demolished after about 30 years. If the fungi bricks are not reused, they decompose and become part of the earth again.
And if you demolish a building, you throw it away, you start again. It doesn't make much sense from a sustainability, circularity point of view. So the idea of making blocks with a shape that can be arranged in very many different ways is really cool.
And it's not just buildings that could use the fungi structures. A seat, a planter, and a section of wall are being displayed here. They're lightweight, strong, and have insulating and fireproof properties, ideal for a variety of uses.
We could use mycelium to make construction materials, to make cladding panels, to make acoustic absorption, to make light fixtures, to make elements that are basically made from waste and from nature, and that never leave the idea of waste and nature.
To advance sustainable living, these biobricks could eventually begin replacing more common materials and help prevent further damage to the planet. Andy Shrey, Laurel Stewart, and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of hydrangea blooming in Wuling Farm in central Taiwan. I'm Eric Gao. Take care and see you next time.